Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did not choose that wherein I delighted not. I want to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Okay, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us His truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Okay, those making their bodies a living sacrifice in these last days. Okay, and I wanted to go into a lesson, all right, as just, with the benefits that come with serving the Lord, and a part of those benefits, okay, that insurance, if you will, because every job comes with benefits, whether that be the pay, all right, whether it be health insurance or 401k, things like that sort. But with the work that we do, we receive a certain level of benefits as well, and that's due to the sacrifice, okay, the life force that's given to do these things, okay? And we can point some of those things out. The Lord has sanctioned some of those things. He let us know what those benefits would be. Okay, one of those being what we just read in Isaiah 65:12. All right. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that where I delighted not. Okay, so let's read what happens next. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Okay, part of that, those benefits, if you will, a portion of that is the servants being able to eat. All right, in a time of famine, in a time where the earth is destitute, okay, that is going to be a benefit of serving the Lord, which most people won't be able to partake in. All right, and it's because they believe not. It's because they heard the cry. They heard, they've seen the men on the highways and byways. They were inconsiderate about, the state of the earth. Okay, about the plea of the brethren. Okay, the brothers. Right? They did not inquire. Right? They were willfully ignorant. You see? Let's read it again. It says, Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Okay, and those are a few of the benefits of serving our Lord, man. It's going to be, a provision made when the Lord continues to judge this earth. Okay. So, because right now people can say foolishly, ignorantly, what benefit do we get? What are we gonna do when things happen? When STHF, right? When shit hit, or SHTF, right? When shit hit the fan, that saying, when shit hits the fan, right? Well, hey, there's certain men that's going to have provision over them. Okay, be preserved in the evil days. Okay, matter of fact, let's read this. Psalms 37:19. It says, they shall not be ashamed in the evil time. Okay, who is that they? Who is the subject of this saying? Well, that's the servants, man. Those that are doing the will of the Father. Okay, those that have heard the call, okay, and have taken heed that have heard the message, they've understood it, they've internalized these sayings, man. They've gone and changed their ways, you know. Those men will have a reward, all right? And it's gonna be given out. It's gonna be given out soon, all right? Soon to come, all right? Believe it, right? So as people, you know, jollied up, they, you know, thinking they in their bag, planning all kind of folly, planning to you know, to this place continue. You know, they're gonna be in for a rude awakening when, you know, the benefits of this world, when it appease them not, when it takes none of these plagues away. All right, one being, you know, the money. Right, as we see this money system starting to crash. Right, these people really think that their money is going to be a stronghold. Right, people really think that their you know, carnal investments, their you know, things that they own, right, the relationships that they have, that's really going to preserve them. These people really believe that they're delusional, you know. They really believe that, man. And the Lord has put of course, the Lord has put a spirit on them to believe that. And it's a spirit of confusion, man. Right? Hence being in Babylon, right? Babylon the Great. You see? Confusion with mixing. It's a lot in there in my car. And it's hot as hell, you know, so bear with me. All right? Confusion, man, with mixing, you see? So yeah, let's keep reading. It says, I'm gonna read it again. Psalms 37:19. It says, "They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied." Oh, you see, in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. And you see the things that's happening in the earth right now, man. Right, the this crisis that's happening with the Strait of Hormuz. You know, the nation of Iran, right, being put in a corner against the United States. Trump threatening civilizations. You know, this is going to lead to a major famine. You know, this is going to lead to shortages, gas shortages, oil, fertilizer shortages. I almost said fertility. But you know, it's going to be tragic out here, man. It's going to be very, very tragic. And a lot of people they're not considering, man. They're pacified, okay? But it keeps, man, these people are idiots, bro. People not paying attention on the road. Anyway, verse 20, it says, "But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs." Okay, yeah, and it's gonna be a sacrifice, man. The Lord said that He has a sacrifice in Basra. Okay, the Lord is preparing a destruction. All right, the Lord has prepared destruction for those that have not hearkened. Okay, it says, "They shall consume into smoke, shall they consume away." Okay, and yeah, we're gonna see that, man. We're gonna see that. Of course, it's gonna climax with the nuclear missiles. Okay, but these people are already they're already taking it there. All right, and they're lost. They're lost in the sauce. You know, but the point of this lesson is, the elect. That's why scriptures say. No, let me see. That's why the scriptures say, the Lord said to, the angel Gabriel said to Ezra, all right, don't be concerned about the multitude that perish away, right? Let me see if I can get that. Salak, y'all bear with me. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Salak. It's the second Ezra 8 and 55. It says, and therefore asked thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways, man. See? Man, these people are so far gone, man. They have despised the Lord, forsaken his ways, completely opposed to anything that, any kind of, correction from Yahweh B'Ashem Yahweh Shah, man. These people are lost. They're gone, right? They still agree with the majority, the tenets that Esau pushes out to the earth, man. And even these other people in the nation, in these other nations, man, they can see that Babylon the Great, the way of life, the Edomite is full of shit. They can see through this facade of, the quote unquote the supremacy of the white race. They can see through that bullshit, They can see this through the arrogance, the pridefulness, and they still, and our people still choose the ways of the wicked, man. They still love this shit, right? So these niggas love it so much, man. They gonna fall with the enemy, all right? But the Lord said to Esdras, which is of the elect, okay. Hence, he was in the second chapter of Second Esdras. Okay, he was witnessing the crowning ceremony, which he was there, man. He was there in the spirit. Okay, so and that's gonna manifest itself. Okay, it says, verse 55, Second Esdras 8 and 55. It says, and therefore asked thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, and thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteousness, and said in their heart, there is no God, yea, and that knowing they must die. Okay? Yeah, you see? And knowing that they must die. All right, how they gonna die, man? Through famine, through insurrection, through, the sword. Okay? All kind of, disease, all kind of plagues that's gonna hit the earth. You see, all kind of plagues, right? But see, hey man, the elect, man, they gonna be concerned with winning, all right? And we are concerned with winning, and the Lord is gonna do that for us. The Lord is gonna make, the Lord is gonna make a way for the elect. Okay, this is Psalms 33 and 18. It says, behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. Yeah, the Lord is watching us. The Lord is watching over those that are making their body a living sacrifice for Yahweh B'Ashem Yahweh Shah. The Lord is watching over those that are, fully convinced, persuaded in their mind about, going hard for Yahweh B'Ashem Yahweh Shah. The Lord is with those who have faith. The Lord is with those who believe. You see? And that's going to be shown. That is being shown. It's being made manifest. And you even have certain Israelites that they know that they're Israelites, but they don't believe in the full message. They don't believe in everything that this comes with. They don't believe in, the Lord's saving power. They don't believe in the miracles. They don't believe Yahushua rose from the dead, man. They don't believe that Yahushua lives, man. They don't truly believe that. They don't believe that 100% truth could be on the earth. Why is that, man? That's because they are slated for destruction. That's because the Lord hid these things from them. The Lord hid this faith from them, all right, and revealed it unto others, okay? This is verse 20. It says, our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. Yeah, the Lord is our help and our shield. Not no bug out bag, okay? Not no money. Not no monies. Not a salary, okay? Not a damn AK, 47. Not no, foolishness, man. The Lord is our shield. The Lord has final say over life and death. The Lord has final say, and even if a man did die, which the Lord said that, some of you won't taste death, but some individuals will. All right. But even then, it's better for a man to go out, fearing Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Okay. Because he going to be risen first, you're going to be risen first, man. So if you do got to die for this truth, like our forefathers did, they went through that, they held their integrity. Okay. Hey, man, this is how it was written, and that's an honorable role. That's an honorable position to play, to be faithful unto death. Okay. The scriptures mean these things, man. But, let's read on. It says, Psalms 33:20, our soul waiteth for the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him. Our heart being our mind, our la'ab. It says, because we have trusted in his holy name. See, that's the strength of that name. That's the very strength of that name, man. That's where our salvation comes from. You see? Yep, that's where our salvation comes from, man. When it says to deliver, I bet that word is Hashai, or I don't know if it's I know it's Hosea, right? I believe it's Hosea's name, right? Let's see. No, that's actually, it's Natazal. It's it says to snatch away, which is which is spiritual. The TWOT reference is 144. Okay, to snatch away though. All right, that's what the Lord is going to do. He's going to snatch us away, to tear oneself away, deliver oneself to be torn away, to be delivered. Okay. All right, that's what that word taken up. You're going to be taken up. The Lord is going to snatch us away from the evils. All right, just like Enoch, because he was dedicated, right? But yeah, Salak, I thought it was going to be play on words with Yahushua, his name, because that is important. The name is important. All right, and that's where our shield is. All right, Yahushua, okay, which is the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right, his name is Yahushua. He had a Hebrew name. He was a Hebrew. All right, from the tribe of Judah. Right, but nonetheless, his name, it literally means he is salvation. Okay, and if you actually speak the Hebrew, well, you're going to believe that sentiment. Okay, you're going to believe that what it actually means. Okay, that being he delivered, right? He delivers, and that's the importance of speaking the Hebrew, because it actually conveys something deeper than just a title, right? It conveys something that has substance, right? That it goes back to a language, a culture, a heritage, and it even has a meaning, an energy, a frequency, It's not just some made up English word, you know. But yeah, verse 22, it says, let thy mercy, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, be upon us according as we hope in thee, you know. And yeah, Yahushua is our hope, man. Yahushua is our hope, you know. He is our plan A, plan B, plan C, you know. He is that, right? And see, these people, they have all these ideas, these plans, you know. Oh man, if you know, if we was to go on lockdown, or if there was a national emergency, I got a private jet, and then I got this tunnel that I'm gonna get to, you know. And then of course the majority, the common person, don't have this shit, but you know, some people, you know, some people do got access to some of these things, and even they gonna be judged. But you know, what I'm trying to get at is that majority of these people, they have these backup plans, man. They have these, you know, these ideas of what's gonna happen if things go bad, if they aren't, you know, kind of tapped in, you know, looking at what's about to, you know, go down. Matter of fact, just speaking about personal experience, my mom talked to me the other day, you know, and my sister, and they were saying, like, man, you know, if we ever had a emergency, you know, they were actually, it was funny, consoling me. They were like, you know, asking me, where do you think we should go? You know, what country you think we should go to? You know, if something was to happen in the United States where we had to leave it real quick, you know, and they were asking me, and I said, shoot, I know one thing for sure, I'm not leaving, you know. I trust in the Lord. I asked her, I was like, you know, you a Christian, right? You believe? I didn't say it like that, but I said, you know, you believe in the Lord, man. The Lord controls that. Not so much, you know, rebuking my mother, but just trying to portray, like, yeah, you know, the Lord got us, man. Ain't nowhere we can't go where the Lord can't judge us if he wants to, you know, which is the truth. It's the truth, you know. And the truth is, man, you know, the Lord is coming to judge this earth. The Lord is coming to judge Babylon the Great, man. The Lord is coming to judge those that have abused his ways, that have, you know, offended his little ones, you know, that have done wickedness in the earth. All right, you niggas and nigglets, you know, that neglect Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and his mercy and his love and his son's sacrifice. Man, you gonna be destroyed, man. All right, and every Edomite, every heathen nation, you know, you're gonna be humble. You see, and that's what's coming soon. But see, the elect is gonna win. Okay, the elect is gonna overcome. What does it say in Revelation the 12th chapter? Okay, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of the testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. You see. That's where that conquering is going to come from. It's through the blood of the Lamb and the word of the testimony, and not loving this life, okay? So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, you know, do a real quick hit, man. Just got off the plantation, man. So, you know, Lord willing, you know, brothers was edified. I want to go ahead and give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us the truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.